Today's episode is brought to you by DNA Sports Training. If you or someone you know wants to take their game to the next level, then hit up DNA Sports Training. Visit DNASportsDenver.com to book a training session. We offer specialized sports training from football to track and field and everything else in between. Whether you're an offensive or defensive lineman wanting to get better off the ball, or you're an athlete wanting to improve your speed and agility, we have something for you over at DNA. Visit DNASportsDenver.com right now to sign up.
Yo,
What up?
what up?
Back again, brother.
Back
Episode
again
22.
for the 22nd time. A year legal.
Yes, sir.
Dom's still illegal.
Don't be putting my business in the streets like that.
Ice gonna come knock at the door.
My kids run out the back. Got my whole family this part now, bro.
What up, brother?
How's it going?
Man, it's going. Excited for the episode today, man. You know, as always, shout out to everyone for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you go visit that DNASportsDenver.com, copy some merchandise, sign up for a training session, tell us what we're doing wrong, tell us what you want to hear, offer up some suggestions. You can always hit that mailbag, DNASportsDenver.com/AskDNA. Stay up to date with the podcast. Make sure you go subscribe, all on Spotify, Apple, across the platforms, man. But today, Dom, very special guest with us, brother.
Yes,
we've
sir.
known for a long time, brother I went to school with, played ball with. Great dude, great coach, man of, many hats and calibers. So shout out to our boy, Zach Gutierrez. What up, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? What's going on? Right on for having me, brothers.
Yep. Welcome.
Man, hey, Zach, when Dom was talking about wanting to get you on, especially with what you got going on with the Junior Vikings coming up, and we'll dive into that here in a bit. I thought it would be cool, man. You know, we go back. We played – our high school years overlapped a couple of years, so we got to play with each other. Pause. And it's great times. But everything that you do, everything that you're into, you're a unique guest for us to have on because, you're a business owner, you're a coach, you're master angler out here, and then you dabble into being a professional poker player, which is just unique in itself, and then all out, like I said, friend of the show and sort of what we're doing. So thought it'd be good to get you on and kind of talk with you just a little bit about everything, man.
Yeah, right on, man. No doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And, I just want to go back a little bit and say all Zach's followers, you could become our followers. All followers could become his followers. We're here to grow both of our platforms. So if you follow us, follow him. If you follow him, follow us. Let's keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Just a big old circle.
Yes, sir. But, hey, what's up, brother? Welcome. For me, I just want to know a little bit about who you are. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and obviously attended school. You kind of already touched on it a little bit. But
Spoiler alert.
Who's Zach Gutierrez? I'm sorry.
No worries, bro. So, all right. Yeah, man, I grew up right here in North Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Beach Court Elementary, went a little bit to, was it Horseman, and then CEC for a little, and finished up my high school at North. And, yeah, I went to school here with Albie there for a minute and played some football, and he's a monster, just so everyone knows, okay?
Yeah.
I seen it firsthand, all right? So, Coach Al, Coach Dom, they're the real deal. Make sure you hit them up, get to that next level, and keep growing, keep learning. But yeah, no, that's pretty much where I came from, and where I'm at and where I'm still at, and still love and represent. So
what you do, man? So you're, we kind of touched on a little bit. You're a coach, obviously a father, business owner, poker player. So, what do you do now, bro? I mean, obviously you dab into a lot of things, but tell us a little bit about your coaching. Tell us a little bit about your business, man, and just all that good stuff.
Yeah, so absolutely. I'm a father of 3. I got a beautiful, loyal, amazing wife at the house, Rock, that holds it down. So I'm pretty blessed. I'm pretty lucky. My kids are all great kids, beautiful as well. Just love them all. Love them all, of course. Yeah,
I don't know, man. There's always that one
so.
where you're just like,
I
never know.
I better love them. She might
where's
be
the pillow
listening.
at?
But I own Anytime Flood Restoration. We do water damage, mold remediation, structural dryouts. We kind of are the emergency catastrophe team, if you will. whenever you need an emergency team like that, because can't really plan when a flood is going to happen or
Yeah, frozen pipes.
Exactly.
Rain. You know, you get storms that come through. So definitely not easy work, man. Not clean work, but good work.
Hey, there's one thing that we also service sewage backup. So, we go in sometimes in a crawl space where the whole crawl space is, guess what, full of sewage. And do you know what that smells like?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, sorote grande.
Yeah, it smells like money. That's
Yeah.
what that smells
There you
like.
go.
Yeah, so
I never realized that's what money smelled like. But now that you
bro,
mention it,
exactly. That's never the fun work, but we got to do what we have to do, and we're there when you need us. So.
how long you been having your business, man? How long you been doing this?
My firm's 8 years old now, but I've been in the industry for 15 years. So,
Got you. Okay.
I've been doing this a long time, and I have all the certifications, everything you need to be at the top tier and the best in your game, and here we are. So
A+ rated, the BBB.
Yep, exactly, nothing less.
Licensed, bonded, insured, certified, man. That's money right there too. That sounds like money to me.
Hey, if you want to be successful, you have to go 100% and don't stop until you never stop. You just keep grinding, and that's it. So
I think that's it, man. I think people get caught up with the fact that like the work's gonna stop at some point. Like, oh man, if I can hit $1 million and I'll be set. But if you stop grinding, you're gonna get bored.
Absolutely.
And idle hands are the devil's playground. You know what I mean? So it's like you're always gonna need to do something, grind out on something. I think it's like something within us that we have to get that get that worked out. It's like a muscle we need to work out.
Yep, exactly. And you're gonna be paying bills until you're dead. So it's like there's no reason to stop keeping from going out there and grinding if you don't.
I know that's right. Bills ain't never gonna stop.
Exactly.
Stack,
That's
stack.
it, bro. That's it.
Hey, we said it before. You're a man of many talents. Do a lot. For me, I want to talk a little bit of poker. You know what I'm saying? When did you start playing poker, and how long have you been technically a pro?
Yo, first of all, you're making me blush. All right, so that's not that. Second of all, I wouldn't call myself a pro because it's not all I do. It's not my profession. But I competitively play. So
Nice.
I play with all the bangers out there, and some of the best in the world I played with. And obviously it's not what I do 100%, so I can't fully focus on that. But it's my biggest passion, and I truly love the game of poker. Like I study it and all that to try to win, but like my true love when I'm playing, so I'm happy. I love it. I love the competitiveness. I love being able to get in minds and play that leveling game, which is just
Play the head game
It
with
gets
it.
really deep. The thing is now, especially now, and the way it is, it's not like old school. Smoke a cigar and get an ace here and there, and it's different now. Now there's these kids out here that have solvers and programs, and it's on a whole different level now. And if you don't keep grinding and keep trying to get better and learning and adapting, you're gonna fall behind. And it is what it is now. And then, but yeah, it's one of my biggest passions, and I love playing.
That's beautiful, man. I appreciate you being humble.
Yep.
We all love a humble person, but everything that you just explained right there is the reason why you're a professional, right? Dedication, studying, putting everything that you do into something that you love, bro. Like that defines professionalism at its most. You know what I'm saying? And I know, practice 1 minute, heading off to a tournament the next, you know what I mean? That dedication, that time, all that commitment that you put into it, that's what makes you a pro in my eyes and in most people's eyes. But, poker, I've been following it for a long time as well. And everybody has that hand, right? A bad beat or maybe even a win. Someone caught something on the river. Is there ever a hand that you could recall where you're like, this motherfucker?
So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. It's actually my last tournament that I played. It was up in Bally's. It was a $1,400 buy-in. It was the main event. It was the Bally's Poker Open. And I fired 2 bullets. So I was in 2,800. And it was day 1, Thursday. So how they work is there's flights. There's day 1, day 2, day 3, day ABC. And then out of those flights, the top 10% of those flights make it to Sunday. So I went up there Thursday. I fired a bullet, played pretty good, got a bad beat, played it, bought in again, made it to the very end. Top 10%, there was 95 players, so there was only 9 of us that bagged chips. And I made it, and I was like, all right, cool. So we made it to day 2. Now we're in the actually we weren't in the money yet, so you could still make it to day 2 and not advance.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I make it to day 2. I'm probably bottom 5 in chips. I have a little small stack compared to the rest of the field, and I grind it out. I end up getting down to. I actually was chip leader with 18 left. I was just playing great. I was in the zone, getting reads, just loving life at this stage and moment, and honestly, and we get to 4 left. Okay, there's 4 of us left. I'm the chip leader all the way down to 5 people. 5 people, I lose the chip lead to this guy to the right of me, who I've been actually getting the best of usually for the night. He's the one that gave me all the chips, but now he's to the right at the final table. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what happens. It folds around, so he's small blind. I'm the big blind. There's other 2 players left. Mm-hmm. Folds to fold. My fault.
You're all good, brother.
Fold, and it goes to the small blind, who's the chip leader. Mm-hmm. All right, and I'm second in chips right now. So the big blind or the small blind goes all in, mm-hmm. and I'm second in chips. So I really have to have like the best hand to be able to call him, because this is called ICM, which basically at the stage of where I'm at in the money implications. Like, I could never lose to him because these guys only have a little bit of chips left. Seat 3 and seat 4, they only got a little bit of chips left. They're about to be out.
You can blind them out pretty much.
If they lose, then I ladder, $12,000. Okay? Because right now the minimum is $17,000, and then it goes to like 27, and then I think 38, and then first place was 60,000. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he goes all in. I look down at my cards. I have an ace. The second one is an ace. I'm like, okay, I have pocket aces, and I didn't even call right away because I couldn't believe it. Like, I have pocket aces against the chip leader, and I'm second in chips. This tournament's over, baby. I'm about to win it.
Yeah.
Snap call. This dude goes, fuck, nice hand. And so he pretty much was like, you caught me. Nice hand, you're going to win. Like, and then he turns over 10 of hearts, 6 of hearts. I'm like, all right, well, I have the ace of hearts, so we're all right. Ace of hearts, ace of spades. We see a flop. He hits a 6, and there's 2 hearts on the flop. The turn is another heart, okay?
Bullshit.
He gets the flush. I still have the ace of hearts, so I still have one more out still to, like,
right,
re-suck
one more
out.
heart, and you can...
Exactly. And it doesn't come, and I lose, and it was just crushing because I had pocket aces, bro. And you know what's crazy, too, is the wifey came up and surprised me, like, on my final table. I was just chilling, playing. I looked to the left, and she's like, I hear her little whistle whenever we're, like, at Walmart or whatever. We'll do a little...
Yeah.
And, like, I know that's her. She hit me with that. And I was like, huh? And I looked over, and there she was. And I was like, oh, sick. Like, cool. She's going to see me win this right now, But I had pocket aces. And that's, like, one of the worst bad beats because of the money implications. This dude goes in with 10-6 of hearts, bro. And I have pocket aces, bro. Like,
and it was suited, but still, it's 10-6. Like,
bro, it doesn't even matter. Like, I have pocket aces right there, bro. And I'm second in chips. Like, and I understand his move. I get it. Like, I have to have
trying
aces
to bully
or
you
kings.
blind a little bit.
Even, like, queens, like, it's, like, scary because if he has ace king, bro, and I go out second, these guys jump up, $12,000 by me losing. So, he unfortunately did it when I had the best hand, and then that happened. So
that's poker.
That's it, bro. That's it. And I wasn't too sad. I understand that's how it goes. Just the implications there are big. You're talking about thousands of dollars on just it holding. If that doesn't happen, then I'm massive chip leader, and and then we're off to the races. But that's how it goes, and I'm still happy, thankful, blessed. It was a great time. Just.
Cool experience.
End the way it went. Oh yeah. And that's what it's about.
How long you been playing like that? How long you been playing like
so I've been
big
playing,
money games?
Yeah, I've been playing competitively since 2017. So.
Okay, because we kind of grew up like our adulthood came during the poker boom. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I remember being in my early 20s, and that was it, man. Like that, what was his name? Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah, that's
won
it.
the main event, and that shit was like,
Muth.
Well, I was like, regular people can get in on this shit and win too. And I remember all the little bars used to have poker night and shit, and that's when I used to get down. So that's cool, man. I mean, I respect the passion, and definitely something I'd love to do too. I just don't do it at that level, but with poker, it's a lot of risk and it's a lot of mental battle, man. So do you think just like what makes you better mentally? Like what gives you the ability to focus in on hands and kind of find and like read people?
So honestly, at the end of the day, bro, I feel like I'm a natural, like as far as being able to read if someone's lying or bullshitting me. I'm like yo, this guy's lying out
Your
of his
kids
ass.
hate that
Like,
shit,
what? Like, so naturally, I feel like I have a good read on people and how they are and how they act, and just natural. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that plays into the way I play poker. Also, I feel like just being able to study the game and love it. You know, I don't think you can be good at or great at a certain sport or game or whatever it is if you don't love it. You know, you truly have to love it and love what you're doing. And if you don't, then it's just not, you're not going to give it your all. You know, you have to, it has to be a true passion, and that's what it really is. And
If you love what you do, bro, you're able to grind through the grind part of it, right? You're able to work through that and see the kind of see the outcome in it, opposed to like just seeing the daunting task in front of you.
Well, you know, it's not work to me, man. Like when I'm studying and I'm like learning and you know all, and you can, and the wifey and the kids and all that, they know exactly like, hey, dad always watches is like poker on TV and like this and that, and it's like annoying to them, but like to me, it's like exciting and fun, and I'm like can't wait to go back and play again. And you know, if I had more time and I wasn't, you know, just like a family of 5 and like a dad and a coach and like doing all this, trying to have fun still, like then it'd be a little different. But it is what it is, and I fit it in when I can. And you know, I feel like there's definitely going to be more volume in the future, and that's the other big thing is I have to put in more volume, and it's hard to when you're, you know, all those things that I just mentioned, which is crazy.
For sure, man. And you know,
No, I was just getting ready to say, man, it's still super impressive. You know, a little birdie just sent me some info on you, and I ain't gonna count your pockets or nothing. But you've done pretty good for yourself with this poker thing, man. I ain't mad at it. You know, continue the great work, you know, and let 2023 be nothing but more success to you, brother.
Hey, right on, my bro. Appreciate that. Good looking out, man.
Yeah.
so you know, going around recapping the week a little bit, kind of get into, and we got more with Zach. This episode's mostly about Zach, but you know, just it would be
don't
hard
do that to me. I'm already red in the face.
Oh, your head's gonna get bigger than it already is, bro. But you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't cover what happened. The biggest story of sports really this week, and you know, with the Damar Hamlin situation, you know, scary situation on the football field where man actually went into cardiac arrest on the field. You know, getting CPR, AED pulled out on him, and being treated on the field to the point where the game was halted and wasn't finished and won't be finished now. The NFL announced that they won't be finishing that game, and they provided some scenarios. So if certain teams make it to the AFC Championship and whatnot, but just first glance, what did you guys think about that situation, man?
Well, you know, first and foremost, bro, I just want to say prayers out to Damar Hamlin and his family, a speedy recovery. You know, you never want to see a player injured on the fields while playing the game in any magnitude, let alone the magnitude in which we just witnessed. You know, so anytime you see something like that, the first thing you have to do is stop, take a moment, and wish nothing but the best for that person. But, you know, we have the same question that Skip asked, man. Like, what's going on with the game? You know, Harmon had the same question himself when he woke up. You know, he's asking who won.
Yeah,
the first thing he asks is who won. You know, because at the end of the day, when you play a sport, when you're a professional at something, it's a competitive nature, and you are there for a reason. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And there's often times where you're in the locker room and something happens to somebody that's unfortunate, and you always say, well, let's do it for him.
Well, you know,
he would want us to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with the NFL and canceling the game on the day because of the severity. I just don't agree with not ever replaying the game and all these crazy scenarios that we got going into the playoffs now. I think it's the NFL's job to accomplish the objective, and they didn't do that. They just kind of bowed out of it. And I feel they could have still got it done.
It's wild, you know, when Hamlin wakes up and asks, you know, who won the game, you know, it's really humble, you know, being a humble person. Like it's a lot of humility there because you wouldn't think that they're going to stop the game on your behalf. You know what I mean? Like
for real.
NFL's had people get injured in practice and, you know, severely, and they just move the drill to the other side of the field. You know, and
they're an entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Like
Monday Night Football, biggest game of the night.
But you know what? Honestly, that's what really stands out to me. At the end of the day, like they're not going to the entertainment side. They're really putting life before football, which is honestly amazing to see because life is bigger than sports, and it is bigger than football. And
Yeah.
you know, he does have a family and his own life, and
you don't see that often.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't see businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses put, life before their pocket.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I just feel like there was more than enough time to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game happens. There's no Thursday night football games at this point in the season.
Yeah.
You can replay the game on Thursday.
Yeah.
Move their Sunday games to Monday, and then whoever's the winner out of Baltimore and Cincy could have the wild card game on Sunday. That's a normal. That's a normal length for an NFL team. That's not a short week. That's normal.
So they both play Saturday and Sunday, right? This week. So you could have finished that game on a Thursday, but at the same time at Thursday there was still question about, is their teammate going to die? Like, how's he progressing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
true.
Cincinnati was still up in air about playing their game against Baltimore.
I get it.
Thursday. So
you're right, and the emotional aspect behind it, it's traumatic. You know what I mean? But I'm just looking at it from a bigger picture of the sports world, right?
Yeah.
Where all the fans are looking at it. I'm coming from devil's advocate, and let's just equate this to fighting, right? If this was a heavyweight fighter in the UFC or in boxing, and they couldn't compete in a championship match, they're going to strip them of that title.
But I think...
Right? They're going to say the show must go on at some point. We're going to strip you of this title. We have to move forward with this.
I think honestly, though, it's a lot more common for people to die, and it's weird. It's a lot more common for people to die in combat sports like boxing than it is for like, this is an uncommon situation in the NFL.
Yeah.
And sometimes uncommon situations kind of require unorthodox and uncommon methods to attack him. So, I get the NFL respecting, Hamlin's family, respecting Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills organization, and saying, all right, look, you know what, we're not going to replay this one. Logistically, it's going to be a nightmare. Also, you run into the risk of playing it like a team playing 3 games in, 15 days or, so you run into that risk. Like, is that team going to be fresh for their matchup in the playoffs? Like, I think ultimately the team wants to be best in the playoffs. That's what they're trying to make their run for, especially when you've had as good as a season as Cincinnati and Buffalo has had.
Yeah, but you got the arguably the number one team coming into the AFC, right? That, in my end, they're already having to deal with losing one of their players and going through that traumatic event. But now they're having to realize, like, we're the best team in the AFC, but we're not even going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs now because of the situation, right?
Well,
if they make it to the championship, it's a neutral site.
The same with Kansas City, though. Kansas City and Buffalo make it in the AFC Championship. It's a neutral site.
Only if they're against Buffalo.
You guys are
Right.
out.
If
Right.
Kansas City
or Cincinnati.
If Kansas City makes it to the AFC Championship and they play San Diego, right? San Diego gets in, or Los Angeles, then that's going to be in Kansas City still.
Yeah,
they still
but
have a home
it's-
field advantage.
But they would've had that advantage
You're missing out
anyway.
on the most important part, though, fellas.
What's up?
Fantasy football championship week,
Yeah.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
yo, this shit is crazy
Well,
right
and then
now,
like
bro.
the FanDuels and stuff, the people that be putting up thousands of them, bro. Like,
not
this-
just that, the people that been grinding all season
Yeah.
to get here, and then you got one player left, and you just got Jamar Chase, and you're only down by 2 points, bro. And then this happens, man. Like,
That sounds a little
It
close
sounds
to
a little
home.
close to home, for real.
bro, like, Jesus.
Hey, you're right, but not
drive
only
off
that.
the side of the road on that, for that one, bro. Like,
Hey, what if Josh Allen was like 200 more yards away from a $3 million bonus?
True.
Yeah,
Or what if Josh Allen went out there and tore his ACL in the second quarter?
that's true.
What if?
What if ifs and nuts was
If
ifs
my-
and buts was candy and nuts? We'd all have a good Christmas.
Or if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. But hey,
No, you're right though. I mean,
It's unfortunate, but the fan and everybody wants to see the show go on.
oh, for sure. And I think if it's our coworker, our teammate, our brother that's laid up, it hits a little differently. But we're so far removed from the actual situation where, we don't have that same emotional tie. As a fan, you have a tie. I remember when, like, locally, like Darren Williams got killed. How it hit the fan base so hard. I remember 9/11 with how that hit, and how the games were canceled. It was funny on the radio the other day, they brought up about back in the 60s when Pete Rozelle let the football games continue 2 days after Kennedy got killed,
Yeah.
and how it was just such a big backlash. And I think one thing that we know about our society today is they're very vocal and very quick to call out your decision making. And so NFL, I think, is very sensitive to that aspect of it too, and not putting any kind of bad PR out there, looking like they're trying to, again, focus on their dollar opposed to that life. So I think, they're taking a lot of heat, but I think they're fine taking that heat because I think ultimately it's for the betterment of their image, betterment of their league. Like, this year's going to be weird. There's always an anomaly in a year where something happened where it just couldn't be played, or it couldn't be done. So unique situation, but I think it's handled properly. It sucks for my man Zach over here with his fantasy squad being 2 points short of a championship.
Actually, I'm the champ, man. So I'm not tripping. I just feel like my championship isn't full though.
My homie at work was saying that too.
Next to
exactly, bro.
My homie at work was saying that, bro. He was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
But I'll take it. It is what it is. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just glad, DeMar's okay. Yeah. And that he can, recover and live a healthy life, whether he plays football or not. But
they're saying he took the feeding tube out, or not the feeding tube, excuse me, the tube that he had in his throat, helping him breathe. He's breathing on his own, and neurologically seems to be intact. So,
and that's the most important thing. As long as he's continuously making progression in the health aspect, and Goodell did quote and say, I recognize that there is no perfect solution. So he knows, like, he made this decision. It may be the wrong decision. It may be the right decision. But this is the decision that he's comfortable with making for his self. You know what I mean? So he could sleep well at night, and he didn't put that dollar in front of somebody's health. So shout out to him for at least saying that. I just feel like at the end of the day, if Buffalo doesn't get to where they're supposed to get to this year, are there going to be fans that say, why us? Because Buffalo, bro, let's talk. Buffalo's been through some shit, bro.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls have they been to and lost with great teams?
You also wonder their psyche, too, though. Like,
this is their year, in my opinion.
You wonder where they are psychologically, too. That's a very traumatic kind of experience to go through. How many of them are going to be dialed in this weekend?
They gotta be playing triple as hard as they normally do. I feel like it's just that boost, kind of like the Ravens with against us. What was it? Who went down? Was it Ray Lewis? No, who was it?
Well, it was his year that he was going to retire, and he was nursing an injury.
There was just a little something right there to kick it in the 4-wheel drive, bro. And honestly, like, nobody had a chance against him, and except for us in that coldest game I've ever been to in my life. I don't know if anybody ever. It was ridiculous.
The dream, Raheem, the dream.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question from a coaching point of view and coach's mindset. What are your thoughts on that situation from a coach's point of view? How do these coaches, so the Bills have to play, right? They have to go forward. They have a big goal that they're trying to achieve. And as you mentioned, Dom, they're in prime position to achieve this goal. How do you get your team back focused and reminded of the task at hand when you've just been delivered such a real blow of reality and what life can really be? Like, how do you get focused back up for that?
Well, I think you just put life into perspective a little bit and say, we have to realize the risk that we're taking every day when we step on this field, but we also have to realize and remember the reasons we're doing it. You know what I mean? And essentially do it for him.
Yeah, it's great rallying cry.
Both teams, not only Buffalo just because he's on the Bills, but Cincinnati can rally behind this too and just say, at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood amongst the players.
Yeah.
You may be on a different team. You may be the ops on Sunday, but at the end of the day, there's a brotherhood of players, and no player wants to see another player go down. So,
well, people forget the T. Higgins side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one that laid the hit. You know what I mean? And so there's that side of it too, where it's like you got to pick up your brother because your brother's down about the situation, regardless of there's never intent, but something that serious happens, you got to feel like shit. You got to feel like, damn, dude, that's my fault. Like, that man might die because of me. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It's a hard one to swallow, but you have to move on as a coach, and you have to let your team know and your family know, like, hey, this is life. Like, there's no guarantee tomorrow, and at the end of the day, whether it's a freak accident or, you know what I mean, like you're slipping on ice and hitting your head, like, unfortunately, like, you don't ever know, and it's a good reminder for the world and it's also been great to see everybody kind of pull together and be one for him and understand it and see some love in the world, which has been missing for the last few years that I've seen.
Yeah.
His charity that he has is like over $8 million now. That hit their goal was like 2,500, and football fans, Bills Mafia, everybody around the league and just around the world has been very generous to them and into his cause and kind of offering that support. I thought it was really cool to see that his mom reached out to T. Higgins. Yeah. And was like, it's love. And,
absolutely.
It's a game.
Yeah. So I asked you guys' point of view as a coach, but now as fathers.
Well, I was just getting ready. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say, like, as the coach, it's pretty much the same role as you would be as a father, right? If I go through a traumatic experience, my family goes through a traumatic experience, I have to be that rock, kind of like he said about your wife, I'm going to have to hold back some of my tears here and there and kind of make sure that I'm nurturing my kids and my wife and maybe get my emotions out at a different time and show them that we can be strong through these hard times, you know what I'm saying? And kind of pick them up a little bit and only show emotion when it's necessary and not all the time look like I'm falling apart type of thing. It's the same scenario, in my opinion.
Yo, I agree 100%. The problem is, though, it scares the shit out of me to be 100%. To be honest, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it scares me, man. Like, to show that can really happen to, someone's son or nephew or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, even, my kids play football and they love football, and it's just it's as a dad, it's a whole nother level, because I'm like, I hope that doesn't ever happen to anyone I see or know or ever again. But
dude, the scariest thing I ever seen on a football field was my sophomore year in high school, and we were playing West, and our quarterback threw an interception, and dude jumped in the air to get the ball, he made a great play on it. And while he was up in the air, he got stuck by our starting guard and our starting fullback. And they hit him so hard that his muscles contracted around his spine. And so, he was down for a minute, bro. They ended up calling off the game. I think it was fourth quarter. We were losing by a touchdown or two. And they ended up calling off the game and just squashing it right there. And apparently, homie was, paralyzed for 4 hours. He finally started regaining his mobility and stuff like that. But it's just such a scary situation just to see somebody down on the field like that playing. Again, you're playing football. You don't expect, you're not, you trying to hit somebody, make them feel you, but you ain't trying to hurt nobody. Ultimately, you're just trying to lead your team. And so it's a scary situation to see as a father. I can relate what you're talking about being tough when you have to be tough. When Donovan, my older son, when he went through cancer treatment as a kid, and I remember that was the first thing I thought and relayed with family. We could be sad, but when we're around him, we got to kind of be strong. We got to put on that face of victory and that face of triumph. We can't put on that face of defeat. And it's okay to cry and it's okay to be sad, but be sad in private. Don't let him see that. Let's let him see that we're going to be strong. So I know as a father, that's easier said than done sometimes. But will this affect in any way the way you allow your kids to participate in football?
Yo, absolutely not. I always tell my kids, and I always tell them to play to not get hurt. To not play to get. Hold on.
I think you had it right the first time. Play without the idea of getting hurt, right?
Yeah, if you play to not get hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Right,
you know
you're playing scared.
So, exactly. You have to play 100%. I don't know kind of where I was going with that. This Four Roses bourbon's pretty nice, but but
I feel what you're saying though. You you can't play scared. You got to play the game. You can't play with the thought that you're going to get hurt or avoiding injury, because that's usually when you get hurt.
Exactly, and so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Freak accidents happen. You can any time playing basketball, you could just hit your neck the wrong way. It's just you can't play to avoid injury. You have to play 100%, and things are going to happen, and you just kind of got to go and keep it rolling and, stay.
I agree. I think I'll always allow my kids to do what they want to do, in terms of athletics, and find what they're passionate in and find out what they like. I mentioned my son Donovan. He's not a big sport kid. My oldest son AJ, that's all he wanted to do was play sports, right? But Donovan wanted to do other things, and so I respected that and kind of always geared him towards being passionate about something so that you can care about things.
Hey, if he needs some poker coaching, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make some bread together.
We're gonna take care of that one way or the other.
You know what I'm saying? We're good. Yeah, and that's just it, bro. Find your love, find your passion. whether it's sports, whether it's poker, whether it's chess, whether it's video games these days, man. You're a YouTuber, you're a gamer. Guess what, man? You're living. I promise you that. It's times are changing. You have to keep evolving and keep adjusting and adapting. And if you're not doing that, then you're gonna fall behind. And no matter what you love or what you do.
So, to kind of move it along, we talked about Zach being a professional poker player, kind of mentioned him being a coach. You running the Junior Vikings now?
Man. Yeah.
So he's running the Junior Vikings wrestling organization.
100%.
That's, training these young kids. I think wrestling is such an important sport for kids to play. I wish I would have participated more with wrestling, but it's definitely something that teaches you discipline. So just tell us a little bit. I know one of the main reasons why I wanted to get you on is I wanted to help promote the tournament you guys got coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up Sunday, January 15th. Come check us out. But before I elaborate on that, we don't play wrestling, man. We wrestle. So let's get that right.
When you play wrestling and you play on the mats, is it a wrestling game?
It really depends how you want to go. It could be a wrestling game. It's the wifey. That's the wrestling game is for the wifeys.
Yeah.
We wrestle. We wrestle tough for the rest of them. But anyhow, we got a tournament coming up here. It's actually. It's going to be an amazing tournament. We have some amazing medals. I don't know if anybody has checked them out.
Dude, them things are freaking dope.
The best medals in Colorado. Check them out. Check out our Facebook, Junior Vikings Wrestling or Denver North Vikings Wrestling or one of those. But our medals are super hard, and, we spent a little extra because we want to stand out. We don't want to be like the rest of them, and we want to have some competition in our house, and we will be.
How many teams you guys got coming down?
It just really depends, man. But we'll have all of the Western Suburban League plus a lot of peak-to-peak kids coming over. Like I said, when you have jewelry like that to win, it brings out a lot of competition. A lot of kids want it, so it's going to be a packed house.
That's freaking dope, man. Wrestling tournaments can be so. They could be a test of adrenaline and a test of just being focused and being able to get through it, man. That's some rough work.
It is, and it's a great time, and it's the life we live, bro. It's a whole life. It's it's not, if you go half-assed at this sport, bro, it's gonna be a tough sport for you. So.
No, that's what's up, man. And those medals, they're definitely flossing. So if you're a wrestler out there and you want to compete against other wrestlers in the state, some of the best competition in the state, come on down and try to get you one of them medals. They're looking right.
Yep.
But, hey, man, you've been putting in the work with the boys, and they're making tremendous strides, just being a dad, kind of being able to sit back and watch my son progress. But not only my son, some of the other kids I coach and some of the other all the boys are just progressing, you know what I mean? And so shouts out to you and all the rest of the coaching staff. Question for you is, as a coach, I love sports, but sports aren't the reason why I coach. Every coach has a why. So for me, my question to you is, what's your why? Why do you coach? What drives you to continue to do what you do?
So honestly, at the end of the day, man, I think coaching-wise, I feel as far as wrestling goes, I just feel like I'm good for the kids and I'm the best for them at this time. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that will mean in the future. I don't know if I could bring someone in that can do better, and that's my goal is, actually, I love to coach, but I don't really want to coach, if that makes sense. I want to be a dad. I want to go and cheer my kid on. But at the time in the being, I feel like the best position for me to be right now is holding it down and keeping this together. And by all means, I'm not at all the best coach, but I do have the best coaches and staff around to make this league the best, to make this team the best. So, shout out to my cousin Cesar Valenzuela, who is holds it down and is just a master technician, who is just making these kids animals and technicians at this game. And I got a shout out to Coach Lance, Coach Danny, Coach Brandon, who's huge, him and his two boys, who's been a part of this from the beginning, and also Coach Pete Ozick, who's been the jefe of this organization. Yep, to keep it to where we're at now, because without him, we wouldn't even be here, and we wouldn't even be, we had 60 kids register here, and
that's awesome.
We're some of them have fell off because this sport isn't for everybody, and it's not for every parent, and you'll learn that real quick.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're just it's been a blessing, and we have a lot of help and like a staff of like 10, 11 guys and coaches, and just to be able to have a village to help these kids is amazing, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's important to have that big. I know you say you had 60, and not all of them stuck it through, and some of them found out it wasn't for them. But it's important to have that kind of pool to draw from. To be able to get the best out of kids and be able to find out where your team is best. And we had it with track this year over there at North, where we had like 75, 80 kids come out, and I think we finished the season with probably about 50.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
But we finished the season with the best 50, or the 50 that had maybe
there.
They weren't the best talent wise, but they had the devotion, they had the mindset of getting better and learning and being better. And I mean, that made our team better, man. We fielded, it was great to field full boys and girls team, and so being able to have that that buy-in from multiple people so that you can continue to grow this thing, because this year it was 60, next year it might be 75 with 50 of them sticking through, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to grow, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to be there, then I don't.
Yeah.
I want the kids that want to be there and want to get better and learn. And I don't care if it's 2 kids. It's like, hey, if you want to get better and learn, this is where we're gonna go. And you could either jump the ship or you can hop on and let's get it. Let's get better. Let's grow. Let's be the best.
And it's important as a parent too to understand that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay for this sport not to be for you,
Absolutely.
like your kid. You know what I mean? Like,
no doubt.
I think parents get caught up with the trying to do this, get their kids to do this because this is what they like to do or this is what they wanted to do, right? And you got to be okay with the fact that, wrestling isn't for everybody.
Nope.
A
lot of sports, I mean, being a trophy dad or trophy mom, that's on them. Like, I think finding the kid's passion and just having them to go after it, no matter what it is super important. Whether it's wrestling, whether it's football, like I said, even whether it's Nintendo, bro. Like, if you go 100% at it, bro, you're gonna be special in this life, and you're gonna.
But it's
also do big things.
It's also as a parent shutting up and letting your kid learn the lessons that are taught in between the lines.
Yeah, take the back seat a little bit.
Yeah, because like there's so much that I learned from playing sports and participating in different things that, I think sometimes parents don't understand that part of it. Like, they think the game or they think the matches, but they don't understand the lessons that you learn, the discipline that you learn, the knowing where you can push your body and how far you can take it on the football field or on the wrestling mat. There's different things you learn about yourself when you put yourself through the ringer. Like, you're talking about the grind earlier and enjoying the grind. There's a reason why you get better at playing poker or you get better at doing your job. It's because you embrace the grind and you want to get better. And I think it's important for kids to learn how to do that at a young age. So when they get to high school, high school isn't fun. Schoolwork isn't fun. But you respect the grind enough to understand where you want to go, that you're willing to fucking put in that extra work and to die to yourself,
no doubt,
and do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And high school was fun as shit, bro. I had a blast, man. But but
I remember
that's one of the things about wrestling here that I try to instill in these kids. Like, this isn't about going out there and winning, okay? Honestly, yes, winning's important. Yes, I want you to win. Do I want you to lose? Hell no. But it's going to happen. But in this sport, it goes so far beyond just winning or losing. This sport pushes you, and it pushes you. You want to quit. You want to give up. You're crying. You're fighting through it. And, just shout out to a little buddy of ours, Jacob here, who ended up last Wednesday night, he hurt his hand and he still wrestled through it. And I, like most kids, when they get hurt, we kind of try to brush it off and just say, hey, let's go out there, let's be tough. And it's usually 99% of the time not a serious injury. Well, his little, I just talked to the mom today, and his hand ended up being broken. And he's in second grade and he wrestled through it, bro. And I feel bad now as a coach, like, oh man, I probably should have made sure he just sat it out and instead of pushing him to get in there, which he said, you know what, it hurts, but I'm still going to wrestle. And he did. And I saw him, and he just really made me super proud to see how tough and his grit, and he didn't give up, even though his hand was broke, bro. You know what I mean? I feel bad as a coach, hey, sure. But it was amazing to see that, and that's what this sport, and that's what I do it for. I do it to make him better in life.
He's got something to fall back onto when life's going rough later on in life. 10 years down the road where
resilient
shit's tough. But then you could think back, man, remember that time I wrestled through a broken hand and I kept going and kept pushing, this is nothing. I can do this.
And honestly, out of when I play poker, at the end of the day, if I have to go back to anything, it's literally me competing in wrestling and what my pops has taught me as a young kid, and it's like, even if I know I'm gonna go get my ass whooped, I'm gonna go out there and bang with everything I have. Yeah. And that's what I try to tell these kids.
Make sure
like,
they know they felt you.
Hey, win or lose, go out there swinging, bro. Mm-hmm. You know, we go out there swinging. We leave it all out there on the mat.
For sure.
You know, and this analogy kind of sucks now, so I guess it's a little ironic, but we die on the field, bro. Yeah. Like, you know, and I hate to say that right now because it's ironic, but you know, that's kind of.
Well, I think that's the mindset you take with certain sports, man, and that's why what made that, you know, not to go back, but that's what made the Hamlin situation so real. Was like every day you're like, give it all, leave it all, leave it all on the field, and in this situation, dude almost left it on the field for real. Yeah. So I don't think that's a horrible phrase, and I think I'll still continue to encourage my kids to leave it on the field, because I think what the Hamlin situation shows you is what we all kind of been coached and kind of been taught, is that this game, you play the game, whether it's wrestling, whether it's football, whether it's baseball, basketball, you play it for a finite amount of time. Like you're one, and especially with football, you're one bad injury away from never playing again. Yep. You know what I mean? You're one torn ACL away from never being able to compete again. And it's important to leave it all out on the field. It's important to go your hardest, because that's the respect to the game. That's the respect to competition. That's the respect to your teammates and your opponents that you compete against.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, not only that, right? You're showing a great lesson in life, like you kind of touched on a little bit earlier, about being resilient through tough times, through pain. You know, there's going to be a lot of times in these young kids' lives where they are sick or their back doesn't feel the greatest, but they still got to go to work and make that paycheck. You know what I mean? And pushing through today is going to help them push through tomorrow.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be able to be better adults in life and not necessarily fold up and give up at the first sign of any kind of discomfort. So, you know, it may not feel the best right now, but you're doing more for him later on in the life. No harm, no foul. It's not like he was crazy majorly injured. You know what I mean? He pushed himself in, and you just opened his eyes to show him what he can do even in an uncomfortable situation, and that builds confidence in a young man.
Got to build that callus, man. Got to build that callus.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah. Another thing, you know, you guys said this sport isn't for everybody, but being a football coach, you being a wrestling coach, we know there are some kids out there that are built to wrestle, right? Yep. If there was anything that you can say to a young athlete on the fence about competing in wrestling, didn't really know if they were capable or if they should, what would you say to them, and why does wrestling benefit them in other sports?
You know, actually, it's funny that you say that, because I really think that your son DJ is the perfect candidate for this. With that being said, I know last year he came out for a little bit. I'm not too sure what exactly happened. I know he didn't end up finishing the season, which is completely fine. I'm still happy that he came out and tried it. But this year, I mean, you know, as a coach, he's just – I feel like this is for him, and I know I've told you this, and I'll tell you it again. Like, don't be surprised if DJ is one of the best wrestlers in the state, and this is his main sport, bro. Like, growing up through high school and so forth, like, just don't be surprised, okay? We're going to come back to this episode on 1075 or whatever it is, but, you know, we're going to come back and we're going to remember this. And, you know, he's a perfect example of a kid that I don't know exactly, like I said, if he wanted to or not, or what the situation was, but him this year is a whole different kid than the kid last year that, you know, now he's just a monster. And I can't believe that he not that I can't believe. I wish he would have finished last year, because this year he'd be even better. And it's like he's making dramatic improvements, and he loves it. You know, I seen that he like happy and he loves it. It's just a whole different
a year more of understanding your body, a year more of being less timid and understanding again.
Yeah,
I think it's the greatest thing is understanding what you're capable of doing, and when you discover that. It's really, really hard to explain the joy I get as a coach when I see a young man or young lady kind of discover that it's something that they didn't know they can do, and you've been telling them you can do this, and then they see it and you see that light click. I think that's the best part about coaching, man, is because, you know, everyone blooms differently and they blossom differently at different times, and it's just continuing to put that work in and trying to. I think the biggest challenge as a coach is getting them to continually buy into what you're telling them. Like, you're there, just keep pushing. push.
You know, and
No, go ahead.
you know, that's the main thing is a lot. And wrestling's a little different than every other sport because a lot of dads, it's a tough relationship between the kids and the dads or the moms or whoever pushes them because it gets really. It's a tough sport. I don't really know how to explain it, but relationships can get ruined or they can get pretty on the edge just because you want your kid to be the best, and kids can get worn out in this sport very easily.
Well, if they're getting their ass kicked,
Hey,
it's hard for them to be like. It's hard for them to be like, "Oh, Dad, I'm trying. I'm fucking getting killed."
Don't tell my dad that because he has a story about how I lost like 50 matches in a row my very beginning first couple years, and then I just started coming back and just putting it on them. So it is possible, but at the end of the day, with these wrestlers, I tell them, wrestle for yourself. Like, don't wrestle for your dad. Don't wrestle for your coach. Don't wrestle for your mom. Wrestle for yourself. Once you wrestle for yourself, everything else falls in place, and then that's your true growth. Once you figure out your weight and how to distribute your weight and how to use your muscles, and it's a whole life experience that you realize on yourself. That again brings me all the way back to my beginnings. Even when I'm out there, heads up in a poker tournament or in the final table or just whatever the case may be.
Now you're competing. Now we're going.
It comes back naturally, and that's
what's up.
That's where it's at, bro. It really is.
You know what? That's dope that you said that about DJ too, because little does he know he's going to be a lesson for some kids right now. Yep. Because last year, right, he was the kid that wasn't. In his mind, it wasn't his sport. He wasn't cut out for it. We work him in football practice, but we don't work him like you work him in wrestling practice. You know what I'm saying? So, first couple practices, he's like, shh. The next practice comes, he's like, oh, no, I got this excuse why I don't want to go. And an excuse on excuse.
They all do, though. It's all good. They all the way up to their 14 years old, they're going to keep them excuses coming.
Yeah, well, it turned into him just not wanting to do it, right? So he fell back. And that was really one of the first times I'm not one who allows my kids to start something and not finish it.
Right.
But, that was the one time where I was like, you know what, I'm not going to push you. I don't want to be that dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the transition from last year to this year, and you're right, bro, like he's loving it. He's loving every little bit of it. And I seen that click when you guys ran stairs, right? The tournaments, I seen it a little bit too when he was able to kind of realize what he can do. But when you guys ran stairs, bro, I was like, this fool's gonna be gassed. He's probably gonna not want to come to practice tomorrow. And at the end of stairs, he was like, that felt good. He was like, I was sore before practice. He goes, now I feel loose. I feel like I can practice some more. Like,
you're giving me chills right now. That's what it's all about right there, bro.
Bro, he was just feeling it, and I was like, this fool likes this. And now he talks about every day about, I'm getting better with my balance, and I can't wait till football season. They don't know what they're gonna do with me. Like, he's already planning.
He's already a dog in football. This year, you better watch out, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, and shout out to Coach Dom here, man, and Coach Al for the second grade. I guess we're gonna be the Westie Wolves this year, huh?
Let's get it.
Some of the best coaches around, bro, and no doubt that's why my son is there, and we're with you, and we're riding like 100%, man. We're gonna take this over, and we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna be the best, and you know what? Even if we're not the best, that's okay because we're gonna work.
That's right.
Like we're the best.
We're gonna work, man. We're gonna teach these kids the game. Most importantly, teach them how to be disciplined, how to work hard, how not to shy away from hard work. I think that's the most important thing we could teach these kids at this age. They're not getting no college scholarships right now based off of what they do, but they can learn some of the intricacies of the game. They can learn how to be a good teammate, how to be a good winner, how to be a good loser, and how to just really develop in the game at a young age so that when they get to some of the stuff that we run and that we do a lot of high school drills. We do a lot of high school stuff with these young kids because we want to prepare them for when they ultimately get to that level. And if we start with a team and we work with them all the way through up until they get to that level, you best believe we're going to try to have them as prepared as we can for that level, whether or not they play high school football. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
we want to make sure that they right for the next coach that gets them. And so I think it's something that's heavy on both of our hearts. And that's why I think we like working with each other is because we do have that passion to kind of teach the game and teach these kids how to be better athletes, but also be great teammates and great football players.
We're lucky, as a dad and, my son playing for y'all, we're lucky to have y'all as a coach. And you'd honestly be a fool not to be a part of your guys' organizations. And, obviously DNA is a big part of it too. So if that opportunity's out there, better jump on it because it's fuck.
Hey, it's there. Hey, and with that,
whatever,
being said,
whatever the little
if there's
tail
any-
end is there. But
basically what he's saying, if there's anybody who wants to better yourself, visit DNASportsDenver.com.
Yeah.
That's right.
Get
Yeah.
right, book a session, and if there's any 7th and 8th grade kids out there, or not 7th and 8th grade, we'll take them too, but 7 and 8-year-old kids who are looking to play football this next coming season, hit us up on DNASportsDenver.com. We got a spot for you. We're building something special, man, and it's not just football. We're trying to teach life lessons that they can apply to everyday life. You heard Coach Zach say it when he's at the poker table in the main event. He has the chip lead or not. He channels old wrestling moments,
sir.
right, that he learned from wrestling. And you can channel moments that you learn from football, that you learn from basketball, that you learn from baseball, whatever. It applies to the game of life. So come check us out.
You want it, come get it, man. These medals are dope. First place medals came out. WSWL Denver North Banger on January 15th. Make
Check it
sure you
out.
come correct and come strong because these chains got me ready to hit the mats.
hey, and these aren't these normal medals, man. Check them out. They got the gold chain, the
Cuban
big flag.
links.
Yeah, hey, and this isn't your normal brawl or invitational. This is the Denver North Banger.
Let's go.
all right?
Hey,
These are for
Northside
the
Wrestling,
bangers,
baby.
Like we're here to bang. Like if you're not here to bang and win these, then you're missing out, man. Because this is what it's about.
And your reputation and your name in the game and the stake in the game speaks for itself. This tournament will have the best concession stands as well. So
Hey.
come out there and check it out, man.
Pork green chili, menudo, pozole, you ask it, tamales, whatever, bro. We got it.
Y todo.
Yes,
It's there,
Get it.
baby.
January
Oh,
15th
yes,
at North,
sir.
right?
At North, man. We'll
Let's
be
go,
there.
man. Hey, want to give a special shout out to Anytime Flood Restoration for all your water damage, cleanup, mold remediation, and structural dryout needs. Call my boy Zach, 720-837-1184, and visit their website at anytimefloodrestoration.com. Yo, my boy Zach and them over there at Anytime Flood Restoration are AAA rated A+ rated with the BBB. They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured, and they're certified with the IICRC. You can go with a lot of different companies doing this, but not all of them are going to be insured. Not all of them are going to be licensed and bonded, and not all of them are going to be certified. So make sure you hit up Anytime Flood Restoration. Get your restoration needs. Things happen, life happens. Make sure you hit them up. They're going to take care of you. Dom,
Hey, and I just want to say something to that, brother. Not only that, all those great things that they said, but this is a family-owned business by a great family, a great guy. You guys are learning a little bit about him right now today on this episode. But I just want you to know, during tough times, right, nobody wants flooding. Nobody wants any water damage or fire damage or anything like that. In uncomfortable times, you want to go with somebody who's going to do good work, but also treat you like a human being. And this is a good family-ran business, and they're going to treat you right, do the job correctly, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but also, be sensitive to your time that you're going through. So,
there's no need to support them, corporate big chains. Support them local businesses, support them businesses that keep their money right here in the community, and also support them businesses that got people working for them and owning them that care about the community, that's out there putting that work in the community. Again, shout out to Anytime Flood Restoration, man. Hit them up, 720-837-1184, or at anytimefloodrestoration.com. Zach, man, you kind of touched on the business a little bit, man. Just again, anything else you want to tell us about the company you run, man, and your joys in doing it?
Yeah, bro. Been doing this for some time now, and I just feel like I'm the best at my craft, and I can not only help people out, but do it the right way and do it by the book and make sure it's done correctly.
Any nightmare scenarios, man? Like, when you do restoration work, I don't know. Do you clean up like blood and like crime scenes and shit too?
No.
Or
So we don't do trauma cleanup.
Okay.
There's some restorations that do dabble in asbestos abatement and trauma cleanup and things of that nature. Which, I guess we do like sewage cleanup, which is gross.
that could be a messy situation as it is.
It really
too.
can be, but trauma's a little different for me, and as far as my mental stage goes, and my happiness in life, and my I guess I just don't want to mess with that, right? Like,
Yeah, it makes sense.
You have to clean up a blood or like a suicide or like a kid's death or something like that. Like, nah, man. Like,
You don't want to take that with you.
yeah, I can't do that, bro. I don't care
I feel
what
you.
I don't care what the money is, man. That's just that's not something I'm able to do.
But you're also serving a great service in sometimes people's worst moments too.
Absolutely.
Though. So
Yeah,
like
you have to be a special person and special people to be able to handle situations like that.
it's Thanksgiving and the commode is completely put.
Yo,
4 inches of water in the basement and shitty water. Like,
hey, we'll stick to the little corns floating. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but at the end of the day, it's the thing about this business is you never know when you need a company like this, and it's good to know when you do. And there's a lot of companies out there, a lot of restoration companies, and there's a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones. I have a couple boys in there that have their own, and a couple. There's a lot of good companies out there.
Right.
At the end of the day, you just never know when the service is needed, but it's it's a big part that it's recession proof at the end of the day too, because it's whether it's gonna flood, whether the roof leaks or the pipe breaks or the sewage line underneath your house breaks or we went out to Houston for the hurricane, our first time ever as a company traveling over there and trying to service them. At the end of what ended up happening, it was a loss for the company, but we helped out a lot of people and it was a big win.
Good
because,
PR.
Not just that, but I mean honestly, like truly being a good person, rewarding, and
very
knowing that you helped out people in a catastrophe, like
paying it forward.
You help people where Joel Osteen
that was a
wouldn't.
big win, man. And I'm not too sure if we'll be cross country and get any more, but at the end of the day, that was, it felt good, and that's what's missing. It's passion.
I'm sure business kicked up a couple weeks ago when we got into the really freezing temperatures. I know my brother-in-law's a plumber, and so many people had frozen pipes and issues, and people go on vacation and they don't think it's gonna get to 0 or negative temperatures, and the next thing you know, they're on vacation and their shit's flooded. So I know it's definitely a much needed service, man. So shout out to you, shout out to what you're doing. Also, man, it's good. We grew up from the north side, man. Our label when we grew up, and it's not we didn't grow up in the Highlands. We didn't grow up in Lohi. And our label when we were kids is a lot of kids didn't grow up doing shit in our neighborhood. And so to see you owning your business, man, doing your thing, it's definitely very inspiring, and it should be inspiring to young men that listen to this program. That's one thing me and Dom with this show is like we know what our audience is. We know we got a lot of young folks that we coach or that we work with that listen to this show. And so we know that at the same time, if we can put out some information to these young people to kind of get them on the right path and get them doing their thing, So I like to highlight people from our neighborhood, people that look like us, people that come from our background. And when they have their own businesses or they're doing positive things in the neighborhood and the community, it's great to highlight you guys, man. So I want to shout you out, man. Make sure you keep killing it, keep killing the game with what you guys do. And young folks, man, take notes. It's that hard work. It's that embracing the grind. It's that not being afraid to get your hands dirty, both metaphorically and literally, that'll get you paid and that'll get you that bag.
Yo, much appreciated. Much love too, man. Like that really hits deep because you're exactly right. And, that's why I'm coaching at North and, keeping it in the community and growing and never stopping, never grinding. Like, yo, I'm 36 years old, and guess what? I'm not even close to being done, man. Like, we're gonna keep going and keep growing, and it never stops, bro. And so, that's it, bro. And loving where you're from and representing, and that's it. So, right on, bro.
Yeah. So basically, we don't know what you're facing. If it's water or a shitty situation, hit up Anytime Flood Restoration. Bars.
Straight fire.
Hashtag rap.
Straight fire.
Hashtag rap like me.
Hey, man, we already talked about it. Do you have a job, though, bro? Like, I'm curious. He kind of touched on it. That is, like, for better or worse, one of your most memorable. Like, you walked up and it's just sort of day everywhere. Or, it was a situation where, and you don't have to get too personal because, we don't want to put people's personal business out there. But, this situation where a family was really in need, like you kind of spoke to the hurricane situation, that you just remember more than others.
Yeah, so first one was this address was 774. No, I'm just joking.
I was like, damn.
First name was Margaret, last name was Jones.
Hit her up. She still hasn't paid, by the way. But you know, like every situation is different, brother. We'll go from your simple little water line refrigerator leak to one of the most memorable that I know has happened, and it actually was last year. So, but first of all, yeah, man, I'm barely getting my head above water with this freeze. I worked till 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve, and you know, for the most part, that's it though. That's my life. That's what I choose. And when the work and the money's there, you just gotta jump. And if you don't, you're gonna miss out. So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
but with that being said, last year we had a family that went out of town, and when they left, their kid flushed something down the toilet and flushed it, and it got stuck, clogged. They were leaving as they flushed the toilet, and when they left, they were gone for about, I don't know, a week or so. They got called by the water department saying, "Hey, your water is like, something's not right." So they call the fire department. The fire department comes, closes, shuts off the water. The entire house is demolished from the very top fourth floor. Okay, we're in Cherry Hills, Colorado. Very top fourth floor. Oh, I'm sorry, Castle Pines. We're in Castle Pines. Very top fourth floor. The kid shoved something in their toilet. It ran for a week. All the ceilings were collapsed. Hardwood floors warped.
Oh my God.
Kitchen cabinets, computers, your favorite jammies in the drawer were already molded because of so it was a complete gut. But the good news was that they recovered. So you know, insurance, it's funny because insurance expects you to pay every month, and then when it's time to use them,
They be trying to find every
you
way
don't
out
know
of
if
that
it's
shit,
gonna go
dude.
through. You know what I mean? I'm in the wrong business, bro. That's it, right there.
Dude, for real.
But you know, and they were lucky. Everything was covered, but you know, there's some priceless things that you can't get back, and money won't return. So
When I was a kid, bro, we stood in like a basement apartment, and the city's main backed into our tub, into our toilet, and we literally had about a foot of shitty water just built up in the whole basement. And my dad had this dope ass record collection. Like, you know, my dad loved music. I remember, that's one thing I remember. I think that's where I get my passion for music from, is because Pops used to listen to everything. There was no style or genre that he didn't listen to, and he had all this vinyl, bro, all these different records.
Oh, man.
And dude, like, so many of his records got fucked up. All the covers were gone. They were completely trashed. Some of the vinyl made it through, but like it was so messed up, man. And I just remember that being as a kid, we were supposed to go camping and go fishing, and that shit kind of happened, and it was just like, you know. What do you do, man? You miss, like you said, there's things that, you can repair the drywall, you can repair some of this stuff, but some of this stuff is priceless, and you can't get back pictures and shit like that, memories, trinkets, and things like that. So, you know, you kind of
and that's the big thing, bro. We're going into people's lives. You know, we're in the middle of their lives when they don't expect anybody. So it, you know, first of all, our technicians, our project managers, everybody that responds, they're, you know, not only trained, they're background certified, checked, and they're good people. Like, we're not sending, you know, people we just, you know, don't trust or don't know into people's homes, because, like I said, they're entering people's lives, and
for sure,
in the worst part of their lives, timing, you know. So it's when we show up, we try not to say how's it going, because it's usually not going good. You know what I mean? But it usually rolls off the tongue, and they understand that. And you know, for the most part, it's about being courteous, and not only getting the job done right, but you know, being compassionate. And you know, that's it's a good strong suit of ours. So
that
goes a long way. You know, especially during tough times.
Absolutely.
Once again, anytime flood restoration, 720-837-1184, anytimefloodrestoration.com. They're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, licensed, bonded, insured, certified with the IICRC. Hit them up, man. Make sure you utilize them. Show some love to our brother Zach, man. And make sure you guys choose the best when next time you're in a rough situation. So you're a father. You're, you know, multiple athletes living in your home, man. What's that like? I mean, some of us can relate, some of us don't. Some of us are just having kids, and so they ain't know yet, but they finna find out, man. What's the grind like on that aspect, bro? Because we have our lives and we have what we do, but sometimes I think what our kids do becomes really big in our lives
For
too.
sure.
And so, what's that like for you, man?
Yo, man, I don't sleep, man. It's nonstop, bro. It's once you get to this point in life, I feel like it's not about me at all. I feel like the best of me to come, and that's with my kids, and who they turn out to be and what they do with this world. So, again, I'm super blessed. I'm super, lucky to have such a strong family. And like I said, my wife that just holds us down, and it wouldn't be possible without her. So, much love to her.
Shout out.
But at the end of the day, man, we like I said, we're constantly busy. We have wrestling. My daughter has volleyball. We got football. Right now my sons are training with Coach Jones. Shout out to Coach Ron Jones. Slow Feet Don't Eat, who does speed and agility training as well. And
nice.
He's a great coach, and I want to put my kids around the best coaches, and not just my kids. Every kids I just want to put them in the best position to succeed.
Hell
and
sure.
It is what it is. I have to, like I said, I work till 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve, and if a job came in right now and we got to roll, then hey, guess what? We got to wrap this up. But it is what it is. I'm living one day at a time. Super blessed and thankful, and that's it, bro.
I know as a father, and Dom, you could probably speak to this, man. There isn't very much that I won't do for my kids. There's not too many lengths that I won't go. Sometimes probably too much, and sometimes probably to the extreme too much. But I think you kind of hit it on the head, man. There's a certain joy in seeing your seed grow up to do what they love and to be passionate about things and to kind of live life, and you can kind of see them become their own individual little person. And I'm on both ends of the spectrum. I've got grown kid and high school kid, and I've got 2 little babies too. And it's interesting to start over and to see it all over again. But, again, the same feeling's the same. And so when I pick up the little seeds and kind of look in their eyes, it's like, yo, what am I going to have to do? And what am I going to have to put up with and endure to make sure that you enjoy life and that you get your best shot at life? So shout out to you, man, for doing what you do with multiple kids.
Hey, same, bro, same.
Yeah, man, and that's what's up, because there's nothing like when a kid sees that you put just as much into them as you do to yourself, if not more. You know what I'm saying? And that builds their confidence. It builds the love. There's nothing like bonding with your son or your daughter through the sport that you both equally love, or even a sport that they love and you're learning to love. You know what I mean? Seeing the passion that they have for it. It's just, there's nothing like it, bro. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm actually super blessed to be able to have 2 kids who love sports equally as much as I do, who get pissed off when it doesn't go their way because they give a shit. You know what I mean? They're not the kids who lose a game and just walk off the field and are okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, my kids lose a game, come home and want to watch the game so that way they can figure out what they did wrong. And I'm super blessed to be able to have that. And you have it. You have 3 great children. You know what I mean? Your youngest, bro, that little dude, bro, he's a light in any room he steps in. Like, anytime he's with us, it's like our kid, you know what I mean? And anytime we take him somewhere, just people gravitate towards him, bro, because he's a good kid, bro, and you're raising good kids. And shout out to you, brother, from dad to dad, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that 100%, man, and it's good to get that reminder, because sometimes I'm like, damn, what did I go wrong, bro? Like, these kids are bad, bro. Like, what? You know what I mean? But they be saying these little bad jokes that are, low-key hilarious, but I'm like, yo.
You can't let them know that shit.
You can't be talking like that, my man, but.
I think that's the greatest testament as a parent, as a father, is when other people shout out your kids and other people see how good they are and they're a shining example. I think that's, we don't expect it. We don't always see it. Like you said, we're around these kids all the time, but it's truly an honor when someone compliments you and like, hey man,
sure.
Your kids, I just want to tell you, your kids, man, they're really good kids, and they, they're always respectful, and they always say what's up, and you're like, well, shit, I didn't fucking teach them that. How did they do that, bro?
That's the main thing, yo. You gotta be there, be respectful, and I tell my kids, like, hey, like, you know, you got to set an example when you're out there because you're representing, you know, the whole G unit, which I call my family, you know.
Hey, man. I love your son, man. I love Tail, man. He's such a good kid. It was a joy coaching him this year in football. I know I was new to the program this year. I don't got a kid. I love and respect Dom and what he does. And when he told me, hey, man, it'd be an honor and blessing to have you on, just come hang out. And I was all about it, man, because I know the passion he comes at this game with and where his heart's at with these kids. And, I felt like the weird one because I was the only one on the squad without a kid. But, man, these kids become endeared to my heart, too, though.
That even speaks more volumes of you, and that's what is even more appreciated. When Coach Don told me that you were joining the squad, I said, what? Let's go. Like, I was about to tell Mateo, hey, bro, we need to pack on a couple pounds. I'm about to put you in the trenches, my dog. Like, you know what I mean? We're about to get you right, bro.
Hey, man,
like,
that kid's all over the field, bro. Like, it was cool, like, stepping into the defensive side this year. I coach offensive line, dude. That's what I do. I know the trenches, and that's my home. But stepping into the defensive side, man, it was cool, and it was a different perspective. But then you got kids like Tail, though, that kid, you would think there's 5 of them as far as, like, he's all over the field. You think there's so many of him, and it's just one. And, there's a couple of games where he was the game record on defense, and he just completely shut things down. And it's cool, man. It's cool having good kids like that. DJ, coachable kids, man. I think that's the one thing I appreciated about our squad is, we had our knuckleheads, but they were coachable to a point, and it's important as a coach that you feel that kids are listening to you and that you're getting that buy-in and you see some things click, because nothing can kind of ruin your confidence as a coach is not seeing kids buy into what you're teaching them. So
for sure.
To have your kids be so coachable, guys, I mean, shout out to y'all as fathers. That's a great characteristic that you're building in these young men, because ultimately we don't want kids that know everything. We want kids that desire more knowledge. So,
Ditto, bro.
And believe it or not, brother, that's probably more due to people like you, people like Coach Mora, people like Coach JC, people like Coach Trav that have been in my son's life. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, my son sometimes and my daughter, they're not very coachable when I'm coaching them. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear what Pops has to say, but when someone else coaches them up, bro, they're there, they're listening to it, like they're in tuned. So I try to take the back row a little bit and back up and let them be coached by other people. But, just as much as you're giving us our flowers, my kids wouldn't be who they are without all the great coaches that they've had throughout their life. So shout out to all the gentlemen that I just said for my son's sake.
And for you fellas, like Coach Dom just mentioned, and we getting all mushy over here, and maybe it's this Four Roses getting this little extra mushy.
Nice.
But it takes a special kind of person to want to give up time. Coach Zach, with everything you got going on with your own business and whatnot, it takes a special kind of person to want to coach kids in general. You know what I mean? Want to give up time to teach kids how to be better people. So shout out to all you coaches out there, man, that are giving up the time, whether you're volunteer or even if you're paid. Shout out to you guys for doing what you do. These kids need you, especially in the world that we live in right now. It's definitely necessary and definitely needed. So continue doing what y'all do, man. Continue being freaking beacons of hope and shining light for these kids.
Hey, bro, good looks. And while we're on that subject, I just want to shout out my coaches again.
Go and get them, man. Go and get them.
Coach Cesar, Coach Enrique, Coach Pete, Coach Brandon, Coach Lance, Coach Danny, Coach Richie, Coach Herman, Coach Mitch, Coach Jeremy, Coach Terry, bro. Like, we're coming, and we're coming in hot, bro. Like, this is it. Like, we're here for the kids, and that's it. We're here to get better. We're here to be a village and raise these kids as a village, and that's it, man. Shout out to y'all as
parents, trust these coaches, man. Trust what they're doing and what they're teaching your kids. Trust the process. It doesn't always make sense to us as parents what these kids do and what these coaches are telling your kids to do, but trust the process, man. Make sure you buy into the program, you support the program. Again, before we're getting close to the end on this thing, but Junior Vikings Wrestling Tournament, the WSL. Right, WSWL, Denver North Banger on January 15th, Sunday, North High School. What time does that thing kick off at?
Come check us out, man. We start wrestling will start probably about 9 a.m. We'll have 2 sessions. Yeah, man, we'll be there all day. You know, even if you're hungry, man, come. We're gonna have the best concessions.
Dude, that
this side
concession
of the
stand, I might just go for the concession stand,
Hey,
bro.
bro,
Like, honestly, I mean,
you know, like I said, if this is it. So
how are you guys on volunteers? Do you need volunteers?
Absolutely.
Do you need people
We're
to come down and help out?
Yo,
with,
we
with
need
with
some
stuff?
security now that you're talking about.
While I wasn't,
let's go.
Hey, I wasn't necessarily soliciting
Bring
my
that-
services.
Bring that 7.280 this way, player.
7.2. Oh man, yo, I'm definitely gonna be in the building, brother. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing any kind of security work. Sunday's the Lord's Day, so I'm gonna have to chill on that.
No doubt. Yeah, hey, tell myself what up.
But I'll definitely be there, my dude. Be out there supporting what you guys are doing, man. Super proud of them kids out there working. Wrestling isn't easy, man. And if it was easy, it would be called. It'd be called football. No, hey, when I was in high school, bro, my freshman and sophomore year cross country, because you know North always had legit cross country team. Shout out to Jeff Young, Coach Jeff Young. But they came out with some shirts, I think my freshman or sophomore year, and you could talk to Pete about this. This shit was funny, but they came out with shirts that said if cross country was easy, it'd be called football. And oh my God, bro. I never seen so many hurt individuals, you know, bitching about the shirts. And then, you know, we get out on the field and we start running around and I'm like, yo, they ain't lying. Them fools run for fun for no reason. And you guys are bitching about running a couple of hundreds or a couple of 40s, man. But nah, shout out. Just fun times, man. Just thinking about the old days, brother. Dom, you got mailbag question for us and you want to hit that up?
Yeah, man. So the mailbag question for today's session is, what do you guys think about Dana White? Is it a double standard because he's an owner and not an athlete? And for our viewers out there, if you're not familiar with the incident, Dana White, who is the owner of the UFC, was caught on camera in an incident between him and his wife of 26 years on New Year's Eve. The altercation turned physical to where he put his hands on her, caught on camera. For me, it draws very vivid memories of Ray Rice, of Kareem Hunt, and of these guys. And you see these guys that are players getting suspended for a full year or, you know, taking away what they love. But then the owner himself of this organization just, it's like, I know it's wrong, but my bad. Is it a double standard a little bit?
I mean, I suppose so. He did come out right away and own it and apologize, but that doesn't excuse it. And I know his wife hit him first. Like, she hit him, she slapped the shit out of him first. And that doesn't excuse it. I think, you know, it's easy for me to say because I ain't getting slapped in the face. But as, you know, as a man, you'd like to think that that's not the response you're supposed to give when you get slapped in the face by your spouse. That's your loved one. Makes me wonder what was said. What the hell was going on for her to slap the shit out of him like that? Because she hauled off and got him.
Hey, as being in a relationship, we've all had, you know, arguments and things are said that probably shouldn't have been said. And,
Facts.
you know, you go back and forth. It's just a part of the relationship. But I thought it was funny that you said that, you know, she slapped him first and this and that.
I was about to be like, I never agree with hitting women. And then he said that and I was like, whoa, she slapped him first.
So UFC fighter Sean O'Malley actually came out and said that she deserved to be slapped back.
Oh, my God. No.
Yeah, so he better be careful with the choice of words because they might, you know, cancel culture is for real out there and you don't want to play with them.
Well, that's what's crazy that he hasn't, like, you know, that it hasn't been a bigger response because cancel culture right now is crazy as shit. Sure. And you would think, I mean, I'm sure, but I think here's the thing, Dana White's kind of a character that's kind of been fringed on some topics anyway. So it's kind of already been in that kind of crosshairs of cancel culture. Like, I think Dave Chappelle said it best when he was talking about people canceling him off of Twitter. He's like, Twitter ain't a place. You can't cancel me from there. So what the fuck do I care about? I think certain people don't care about, you know, public persona or cancel culture, things like that. I'm curious how it's going to roll over because Dana White, is he just the CEO or is he the actual owner? Because I thought the UFC got sold a few years ago. So he's got like a weird kind of...
I said owner earlier, but I misspoke. I think he just...
So what happens when the pressure gets put on advertisers, on networks to respond or to do something about it? I mean, I think we've seen with like Donald Sterling, with the owner of the Phoenix Suns. I think we've seen some folks aren't too big to get removed. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, and so it makes you wonder, you got Vince McMahon, he got removed, although he's trying to come back. I don't know if you've seen that recently, but he's trying to come back. But like, at what point, like, is the noise so much that, all right, Dana, I need you to take a back seat. Now, he did the right thing in
Taking
terms of
accountability.
owning it, taking accountability, saying he shouldn't have done it, apologizing. I've never struck a woman, never struck my significant other, and I don't think that I'd like to think that I couldn't. But at the same time, like, I'm a man that's flawed too. And so I understand that part of it. There's still no excuse for it. It's unacceptable. Maybe he should take a step back. Maybe he should sit back a little bit, especially as you mentioned. If one of these fighters are up here beating on their lady, it kind of gets highlighted and suggested that they should take a step back too. And the UFC would act accordingly. I think Dana White is trained. He's trained in several disciplines in terms of
lethal
jiu-jitsu
weapons.
and fighting and things like that too. So I think you could argue that side of it too. So I think he should take a step back, maybe just, hey, take your suspension, take your time on the chin and do it, maybe go out and do some goodwill, with some domestic classes or, I don't think there's been any any charges filed yet. So
No, and I don't know if there will be. And you know what? Like, at the end of the day, bro, I don't want anything bad. I just ask the question, right? As media,
Yeah.
we have to ask these uncomfortable questions sometimes. I don't want anything bad to happen to Dana White. What I would like to see, right, he's already taken accountability. You're rich. Maybe throw some money to the victims of domestic violence or something like that to show that. Again, we've spoke about it before. Put your money where your mouth is and show that. it
that
was
you're really sorry.
Simply just a lapse in character, and you're trying to make right by it. And, if you're out there, just so you know, DNA Sports Denver, we do not condone in any kind of domestic violence. And, if you're out there dealing with that kind of situation, we just recommend that, you get yourself in a better one, or you find help and get out of it, because that kind of thing can go bad real quick, and we don't like to see that for anybody.
Unless you get hit first.
That's not what I was saying.
I'm joking.
They were just releasing, and since you just were on the subject, because domestic violence is a serious topic. They just said that domestic violence. I don't remember if it's domestic violence deaths or just domestic violence overall is up like 44% in Colorado over the last year. Like it's crazy. It's definitely I got a cousin that died as a victim of domestic violence. Being murdered by her husband. The shit's
Sorry to
real.
hear that, man.
Unfortunately, things happen and people. It is what it is, and but the shit's real, and we make light of it. We joke about, we make jokes, but that's because we're assholes. Because that's how we deal with things. But it's real. And if you're in one of them situations where you find yourself in a domestic situation, and fellas are victims of domestic violence too, just like women are. That's one of the common misconceptions. But fellas can be just as susceptible to domestic violence as well. You got to understand. Take yourself from the situation. Toxic situations never work out to be anything other than toxic situations. So make sure you're doing what you can to kind of protect yourself from that. And fellas, if you're in a situation where your girl swings on you, your girl saying those things that cut to the core. I think Bill Burr got a great bit on it. They're waiting to say them key words that just trigger you. You got to be able to take yourself out the situation, be smarter, protect yourselves.
Yo, we one of my big things in wrestling this year, and it always has been, but one thing I'm super emphasizing is controlling your breathing, and it's a big mental exercise, as well as being able to calm yourself down, get your thoughts straight, be able to think in a cloudy situation.
Yep.
And, whether that's a frantic situation or there's like an emergency, or like even some crazy like school shooter shit, you got to be able to calm down, think
Control
the right
your breathing,
way,
get some good oxygen to
exactly.
your brain.
And whether you're in overtime and you're dying and you're dead tired, you have to be able to control it.
Yep.
And be at your best still. And so breathing is a huge part of that, and especially even in this situation too, where you gotta take a couple deep breaths and just remove yourself from the situation sometimes.
Sometimes humbling yourself too, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? It's okay to be wrong, so to speak, quote unquote.
Yeah, but it's easier said than done too at the
sure.
same time. So ladies, just like we said, domestic violence goes both ways. It doesn't always have to be a man putting his hands on a female. It could be a female putting their hands on a man. I've seen it through my childhood with relatives of aunts beating up uncles and things like that. You know what I mean? It happens.
Christmas
Yeah,
Eve,
it
bro.
does, man. It
Christmas
really
Eve.
does.
Yeah,
Mexican Christmas Eve. I call that.
Yeah, it truly happens. You know what I'm saying? And you got to realize at the end of the day, ladies, everybody reacts differently. So, don't put your hands on a man and expect him to just react with it with a grain of salt and move on. You never know how he's going to react.
Some people see darkness and that's it.
Don't put yourself in bad situations.
Be respectful of each other, man. If you guys are in a relationship and you can't be respectful of each other, you probably shouldn't be in that relationship. Like,
For sure.
I know it's hard sometimes to think you can live without a person, but sometimes that's the best thing for you. So if you find yourself in that situation, make sure you take yourself out of that situation.
Dr. Love.
Yeah.
That's the other podcast, right? From 4 to 7. We've been going at an hour and a half already.
Oh,
Hey, this is a good one right
This
here.
is crazy,
man.
right?
Bro, I feel like I keep going for days, too.
I know, man.
As long as this bourbon's right here, we're going to keep it rolling.
Yes,
no,
sir.
no.
Zach, it's been great having you, brother. I appreciate
Right
you,
on, bro.
you coming down and doing your thing,
Yes, sir.
man. Anything we can do for you as a coach or for the business, please let us know, man. Again, shout out to Anytime Flood Restoration for all your water damage, cleanup, mold remediation, and structural dryout needs. Call 720-837-1184. Visit the website anytimefloodrestoration.com. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, licensed, bonded, insured, and certified with the IICRC. Thank you, Zach, for coming through,
Thank
man.
you. Right on, fellas.
Listen, Dom, last week we forgot to give a little shout out, man, and I wanted to make sure we did this because this person was a big influence on my life growing up.
Yes.
R.I.P. to Gangsta Boo, who passed away on New Year's.
Rest in peace.
I grew up bumping 3-6, opened for different segments of 3-6
Yes, sir.
over the years. I've opened up for Big Gangsta Boo in a few of them, and then I opened up for DJ Paul in a few of them. It's kind of weird when they went through their thing in the mid 2000s, but R.I.P. Gangsta Boo, man. Like, life comes at us quick, and it just sucks seeing our idols and whatnot pass away. Shout out to DeMar Hamlin. Glad to hear that he's doing better, and we go through things in life, and what doesn't kill us make us stronger. So it's exciting to see the people's response to what's been going on.
For sure. Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. And again, prayers out, speedy recovery. But we also want to give a special shout out to Arsenal Custom Apparel, Rebel Promotions, Black Sevens, Janice's Catering, Lash All Beauty, Denver North Junior Wrestling, DNASportsDenver.com, and Cutthroat Anglers and Barbers. Make sure you check out all the people that we keep close to us, man. They're good people, good businesses, and we only grow by the love that we share, and we need to share continuous love. Hey, Zach, any special shout outs you want to give?
I absolutely want to shout out my my amazing wife Rachel, my amazing daughter Isabella, my absolutely beast sons Isaac, Ice, and my son Mateo. I think, as you guys know, I'm going to be also opening up in a podcast here pretty soon coming up.
Go.
It's going to be called the Play Harder podcast. Again, Play Harder podcast. And, I'm going to be sending them your way, bro. And I love everything you guys are doing over here. You guys are doing big things and great things and inspiring people. And, keep it up, bro. Much love. And, we're still young in this life.
Hell yeah.
We're still young in this life.
Hell
so
yeah.
we're going to keep growing, keep getting better. And, to be the best, you have to beat the best, baby.
That's
so,
right.
Let's ride, baby.
Shout out to my man, Zach. Shout out to my partner, Dom, man. We thank you guys for tuning in once again. DNASportsDenver.com. Check us out, man. We out.
Peace.